Rates are going to be higher for longer. The feds have stamped that in our brains. And clearly with the 10-year treasury, now with a new eye set on what, 5%? Are we going to get through this? What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Yes, it's me, Kenny Simpson. And yes, I'm tired of talking about the same old thing, but guess what? The same old thing keeps sticking around. So another week, another episode. This is The Brief. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking me out. Thanks for checking in. But guys, enough about me. Let's jump into it because we got lots and lots of stuff to cover. But first, what do we always go over? If you guessed inventory, you're right. Remember, I'm giving you the national, then I'll give you San Diego. Because why? Because I'm in San Diego, and that's where we're at. Nationally, last week, if you remember, is 527, 938. This week, we're at 534, 746. We're not making up much. We're not, there, guys, inventory is the same story. There's not much happening, right? If anything, buyer demand might start coming down. San Diego, last week, we were at 2881. Now we're at 2837 active, 38 new listings, 353 recent sales, 416 pending sales. And what is the talk of the town? Nope, it's not inventory. Nope, it's not the government shutdown. Yep, it's freaking mortgage rates, because rates matter. On your credit cards, they matter on your HELOC, they matter on your mortgage, they matter on your business, they matter on federal government debt, they matter on business debt, they matter on the school. If your school has debt, they matter to every friggin' thing. That's why interest rates are the talk of the town. And guess what? They're not going down. So yes, me and a bunch of other people thought, oh, rates are gonna come down, and oh, the consumer's gonna pull back, and oh, things are gonna get different. Nope, the consumer just keeps spending. But they're out of money and stuff like that. So the 10-year treasury was supposed to be at 4.25. That was the peak. Then we slid over it finally. And then we hit 4.5. And that was the next peak. And then we slid over that. And we're chasing 5%. And I listened to a lot of different interviews, a lot of different data, read a lot of stuff. And the consensus is this out there, guys, that the 10-year treasury is going to 5. Don't be surprised. So we're going there. Rates are going to continue to stink. Number two is for sure, rates are staying higher than longer for sure, because the Fed is definitely wanting to punish us. So that's happening for sure. But, let's talk about Fed's higher for longer. There's a lot of Fed talk this week, just a lot of blah, 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 blah. They're going to talk about the government shutdown, all this, guys. Until we kind of get out of this Fed talk, the government shutdown, all this bullshit we're dealing with, right? We can't even see the 10-year. Their bond traders are like trying to look through. It's like this, you know? They can't see anything. We can't see the future. They can't see ahead. They don't know what the hell's going on. Or nobody knows because it's all in there. But this is what everybody's kind of saying at CNBC. The money managers, the CEO, the CFOs, all these people, use as the Jersey, New York, whatever you say. They're talking about rates going higher. They're talking about, everybody's talking about this recession, the R word. Yes, we're going to have one, soft landing, hard landing, whatever. We're going to have something. Nobody's expecting it to be crazy and big. Not one person that I've seen. Maybe there's one, but I have not seen it besides you YouTubers. But that's really what the talk is. And obviously they're focused on jobs, they're focused on credit card, they're focused on all these things, right? Like what's going on. So with that being said, yes, rates are going to be here longer, but here's the thing. If you go back to 2007 when rates when rates peaked right before we came out in the crash, I'm not going to talk about 2007 to talk about the crash. I'm not talking about the meltdown. I'm there to talk about after we came out of a boom and the Feds had to raise rate. It went from March to about December. So about 9 months where rates came up. And then by that time they dropped 150 basis points. And then we went into that utter chaos of the real recession, hit hard, the whole thing if you're around. Then rates went down even another 100 basis points. So we all saw 250 basis points drop. So the 10-year went from about 5-ish down to 250. So maybe even more, 300 basis points. So I feel like this is the final squeeze. I've been telling Crystal, we're here. And then we got to get through the squeeze. And then on the other side, there's going to be a slowdown, consumer jobs, whatever it is. There's going to be something. And that's where rates are going to see more of the pullback. But what else do we want to talk about this week? With rates going up so much and everybody I talk to, it's not the rate. When I talk to Mary and I say, hey, Mary, here's your interest rate. Here's this. Great. She gets the paperwork, the loan estimate, and she goes, Kenny, This is the payment? Yeah. Is this right? Yeah. This is crazy. I can't do this. This is absurd. And a seller that wants to sell her house is like, wait a minute, so I'm going to go buy something and that's the rate and that's the payment? Screw it. So the buyers are on strike, the sellers are on strike, and that's why nothing's moving and nothing's going on. It's like a standstill. We're like at a standoff. Like, so until further notice, we're going to continue to see this environment with buyers and sellers until rates come back or whatever happens. So that's where we're at. The U.S. housing market is now worth $52 trillion. Do you know that California is the #1 single wealthiest real estate state? We're at $10 trillion in 1 to 4 unit properties. Florida's second in line. They just beat out New York. They're at 3.9 trillion. New York's at 3 point something trillion. And then you got Texas. So almost all three combined is barely over California. That's why I tell California, we have the best lending market, the best real estate market. This place is just the best. So anyways, $52 trillion. It's a lot of equity for people to tap into. So if we're coming up to a recession or a slowdown or anything, people can, even if that value comes down, people can go in there and tap into that equity. And they have a lot of equity lines and a lot of stuff. Remember, 42% of properties are free and clear. What else has happening out there? 50% in some markets, 50% of the listings are being cut. In markets like Idaho, parts of Texas, parts of Nevada. There's obviously, I'm mentioning a few states in this article that I was reading. 50% of some of the listing, or 50% of the listings that are in some of these places are being cut their prices. Is it because they're priced too high? Is it the buyer demand? Who knows? But I can tell you guys right now, affordability is on everybody's mind. It makes no sense for some people to buy this and say, this is just too much. I can't even afford this. So you're starting to see these sellers with some concessions. What kind of concessions are you probably expecting to see? Lower prices, or a 2-1 buy down, a 3-2-1 buy down, whatever it is, you got to incentivize those buyers to come out and buy. And look, if you're a buyer in today's market and you want to know what the going interest rate is, this is what the interest rates are today that I have to offer. Well, ding, 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 ding. It's the first of the month. Bone Thugs, remember that song? Remember they used to say rent's due at the first of the month? Well, guess what's due at the first of this month? It's not rent. It's not your car payment. It's not even your mortgage payment. Yes, if you guess student payment, your student payment. For 45 million of yous, you got your student payment due. The average payment is $350. That means if you didn't pay it for the last 3 years, you save $15,000. What did you do with the money? Buy a car, save it, pay down debt, buy a bunch of shit you don't need. I don't know, but all I know is your payment's due, and if you don't want to make it, they'll give you another year to make it, but that interest will rack up. But keep in mind, it's coming. So is this going to affect the economy? Absolutely. $70 billion a month out of the economy. I think that's going to have a huge impact. Also, if you're a first-time home buyer, you see if that's going to have an impact on you. So make sure if you do have a student home loan debt and that payment's due, remember, like I told you guys before, if it's too high, call that servicing company, send your paperwork, and try to get that payment down. So if you're trying to qualify for anything, maybe a business loan, a car loan, credit cards, or a house, you need that payment as low as possible. So the big topic, the big thing that's going on right now is the what if, right? We always enter markets where even when rates were low, people are like, but what if the market crashes? Or what if this? Or what if overpay and it goes down? Or the what ifs, right? And now those people that bought, even though they might have overpaid for a house, they're like, but I'm locked in at a 30-year rate at 2.5%. As long as they're good with the payment, they don't have to sell the house, they don't care, right? So the what if scenario is happening with all of us. What if I wait to buy a house? What if rates don't go down? What if rates do go down? What if the market crashes? What if we have a recession, right? The what if scenario is the big killer. And so for the buyers and the sellers, they're both questioning all this. But what if I list my house and sell and I can't find anything else? I'm locked in on a 3%. What if, and I have all this equity. What if it doesn't make sense? What if? So how do we eliminate what ifs in today's market? It's kind of like not eliminating. It's just some people are just not going to buy. And some people just shouldn't buy. And some people can't buy. And some people that can buy, they're going to pay the higher rates because they're in the camp that says if rates go down, I don't think inventory is going to shake up enough, especially a place like here in San Diego. I mean, we have a couple thousand homes in the market for single family homes. I think it's like 1,800 just for houses, not condos, not 2 to 4 units, just homes. And out of the couple thousand, if you take homes below $1.5 million or $2 million, it's even less. So if you're going to buy a home and you know, okay, fine, 5x inventory, it's not going to make a difference. So at the end of the day, if you're a buyer and seller, you're sitting here thinking about, if I'm going to give up this rate, what does that look like over here? And is it worth it on the short-term pain to get the refi, whenever that is? 12 months, 24 months, 18 months, 8 months, who knows? Who cares? Because we don't know. You're worried about now. And so if you're a buyer, you're kind of like, I'm sitting here, do I just rip the Band-Aid off and buy? Because when rates are low and there's no inventory, I'm going to be dealing with, okay, let's say now there's the 2,000 homes. Let's say there's 5,000 homes. Great. But now there's also 5,000 more buyers or 10,000. I'm just exaggerating. There's going to be so many buyers off the sideline, number one, that are sitting here can't afford. So the what if game, this is how I'd say, if you're a buyer, if you're a seller, if you're an investor, it's a different story, because if the numbers don't make sense, you'll just put your money in T-bills, 5-6% in that range, money market, CD, and you'll just sit and wait for things to make sense. It's that simple. If you don't have to do anything, then you won't do anything. Enjoy your cash flow, fix your properties up, and chill out. Go enjoy vacation if you're retired or if you can do that. But if you are a buyer and you need to move, or you got divorced, or you have to make a move, or you don't want to rent, or you want to do something, you're either A, the rates are going to go down, we're going to have a crash, a recession, and you think there's going to be more inventory and you're going to find a better deal next year or the next couple of years. Or you're just like, hey, I'm not going to go out there when there's 10 times the more buyers. I don't think there's going to be that much inventory. I'm going to buy now and refi over there. You just have to pick a scenario. And the what if game is this. If you're buying an owner-occupied property and you see yourself living there for 10, 15, 20 years, it's not going to matter if you buy today and you overpay by 10, even 20%, and you lock in on a rate and you can refi. Because I'm telling you, I don't think the rate market's just going to fall off on 20%. I'm saying you still be able to refi. But if you're worried about over time, the market might correct or go down 10, 20%, let's say, right? It doesn't matter in 20 years, because in 20 years, it's going to be worth more or less. More. Are you going to pay your house off in 20 years? You're going to be close to it. It doesn't matter. It's where you live. It's where you lay your head on a pillow. It's where you have your family. It's where you make your experience, your life. So when you're buying your primary residence, this what if scenario doesn't matter as much as when you're trying to buy investor property, you're trying to make the numbers work. We have to have a place to live. So you either rent or you buy, and enough with the what ifs. Just make a decision what's best for you and your families. But otherwise, I'm going to leave you guys with this. We've got October, we got November, we got December. We've got like 3 months, 2.75, 2.8 months until Christmas, almost 2 months until Thanksgiving. The end of the year is near. We're ending the fourth quarter. Look, what's going to happen? Rates are probably going to be super volatile. I would not be surprised if they go up and then they come back down, or they do just this a few times. So see this roller coaster. If you recall, we've seen rates go up and they pull back to a half a point lower, and it only took 2 weeks. So don't be surprised that happens again. We're also going to get through this government shutdown, budgeting nonsense. We're also going to understand too how the consumer's doing during Christmas. Over the next, Thanksgiving, November, we're going to see how you guys are doing if you're spending money, if you're pulling back. We're going to know in the restaurants. We're going to know in travel. We're going to know in retail. We're going to know this. We're also going to be watching the jobs market. But the overall prediction for me with the real estate market is rates are going to be volatile. I don't think they're going to be that great. We're still going to have a massive shortage of inventory. I think if you're a buyer, you're going to pick up better deals than you did this last summer, because I think simply this market is pushing too many buyers out. They're scared, or they just can't afford it. And so the sellers are going to have more concessions. I just told you earlier that certain markets, it's already the telltale sign that 50% of the listings are having price reductions, or they're doing some type of concessions. Even builders are doing concessions, either price reductions or we'll buy down your rate. So I think it's going to turn more into a buyer's market in some places, maybe still quasi buyers, sellers, depending on your price point. But look, this could be a good time to buy, because you could strike a pretty good deal and then put yourself in a really good position when you can refi and take advantage of that. Coming out of this mess, I think next year, we're going to be looking at slowdowns with everything. We'll probably have some type of recession. Nobody's expecting a hard one, but it's going to be a while until those rates come down to where people are going to think they're good, because I think until there's a 5 in front of it, we're all going to think these rates suck. So from these rates today, let's call it in the mid to low 7s to where they were, a month ago, or in the mid to low 6s, you could be talking $1,000 difference in payment. That is what's keeping them on the sidelines. People are not as focused on rate. The payment is scaring them. It doesn't make sense. They'd rather stay where they're at, whether you're a seller or you're a renter. But remember, there's going to be buyers coming off that need to move, want to move. They're tired of renting. They're going to make that investment. They're going to go for it. And we'll see how they end up in the future. So appreciate you guys watching. Have a good week. Otherwise, we'll keep watching all the data and see if we get some, see what happens here at the Fed, the government, all that stuff. Hopefully that stuff gets worked out. See if we have any more rate hikes, but maybe till the end of the year, no more rate hikes. The Fed's done, but they're going to keep rates here elevated, and we're going to feel this, that 5.5%, whatever we land at, Fed rate just pounding us and bringing stuff down. But appreciate you guys. Have a good week. Talk to you then.